Hello again, everyone. This is Chet Mann with CMG Financial, Team Chet Mortgage here in Sanford, North Carolina, just below the southern tip of Raleigh-Durham, welcoming everyone back to learn more about the all-in-one program, how to borrow smarter, pay less interest, and create wealth for you and your family. And we are pleased to have again our VP of the All-in-One Finance Program, Dave Herbst, live and in person from via Zoom from San Diego, California. Dave, it's great to see you again. Love having you on, and thank you for your time today. I got to start this whole thing real quickly with a disclaimer. I myself am the owner of an all-in-one program, and I love it. I refinanced out of a traditional mortgage into the all-in-one program for my primary residence, and it's been awesome. I love it. I love the equity line features about it. I love the flexibility I have with it. I love to be able to pull money out when I need it for some expense I didn't foresee coming. And then I'm loving putting my lump sum deposits in there and watching it go to work. So I just want to let the viewers know that, I'm a little biased because this is an absolute great program for the right person at the right time. Might not have been perfect for me 20 years ago. It's absolutely perfect for me and my family today. So with that being said, Dave, tell us, you're the expert. You're the one that's really brought this into the forefront in America for the all-in-one program. How does someone know if the all-in-one program is beneficial for them or not?
Yeah, it's a great question. And Chet, thanks again for having me. I love listening to you talk. You're a natural, and also I think that it's a true testament to your abilities as a fiduciary, having the program yourself, right? You've got personal experience, and something tells me you're the kind of person that you can't really get behind something unless you've experienced it or doing it yourself, right? From strategies to different types of programs. Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate you being a client as well as a partner.
I believe in it.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. Thank you. So, it's a great question. How do we know that this loan is good for somebody? Well, first and foremost, this loan is really designed for people that are cash flow positive routinely, don't spend more than they make, and have a little bit of equity, at least 10% in their home currently, or 10% down payment, right, for their purchase to begin to qualify. Good credit quality, just overall, financially sound and established in their activities. Beyond that, the way that we actually test financial benefit and suitability is extremely different as well than any other mortgage program. Now, I know that, we're all used to going online and seeing mortgage calculators all over the place to find out what your monthly payment is going to be, given a couple values that you put into the calculator. We designed a calculator 16 years ago. We're actually on the cusp of launching version 4 of it, specific to this program. We call it our Interactive Comparison Simulator. And it's a tool that's online and public facing, so anybody can access it without entering any of your personal information to see if this loan is right for you. But the beautiful thing about it is it's designed to compare this program to a traditional mortgage. So if somebody's already sitting with a historically low interest rate on a 15-year fixed or a 30-year loan, they can compare whether or not a loan that pays principal first and uses your income flow to reduce your balance faster is better or not. And so that's an interactive comparison simulator that currently can be found at www.aioloan.com. And the new version is being released to allinOneLoan.com. Very original, right? AllinOneLoan.com, brand new website that'll be up soon. But testing suitability is as you know, Chet, a requirement also as part of underwriting. So it's part of the underwriting procedures to make sure that there's a financial benefit and a net tangible ability to repay, right? And really manage it wisely. But it's designed to really incorporate all the activity, all the banking activity, and how that impacts your daily principal balance and your monthly and annual interest costs to see if this loan is right for you.
Absolutely, Dave. And folks, the first thing I do after I have an initial conversation is direct someone to that simulator and that comparison tool. And I did it myself. You use your own numbers, and you can be conservative or liberal. I determined that I wanted to pay and I could pay my loan off in 8 years of a 30-year mortgage. And some people will do it longer, or slower, I should say, because they want to take more advantage of that equity line. It's a great tool, and most folks can determine pretty well for themselves through the simulator if it's going to work well for them or not. So I'm really looking forward to the updated version of that. Dave, I've had primary residence customers and investment partners. Tell us, you've continued to evolve the all-in-one program. what programs are now available? What type of product can you use it for?
Yeah.
Investment,
Yeah.
primary. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. The loan can be used for home purchase, new home purchase, as well as a mortgage refinance into the all-in-one and out of a traditional loan. Right. It can be applied to a primary residence, as you've stated, as well as a secondary home and an investment property. And so big. all three occupancy types. Yeah, it can be used for single family residences. It can be used for attached multi-family residences, right? 2 to 4 unit condominiums as well. We also will provide financing for what's called non-warrantable condominiums. So there's a variety of all the residential, types of properties that are eligible for financing relative to Fannie and Freddie. We'll also supply the all-in-one loan to in terms of financing. So all of that's available. I'll tell you this too, Chet. You mentioned investment properties and those real estate investors out there. I really do believe that this is an area within our industry that's there's not been a lot of focus. Loans traditionally have been very expensive for real estate investors. There's generally more expense at closing. There's generally a little bit higher interest rate as well that you pay for investment properties. We've structured the all-in-one loan to reduce some of those expenses. But I think the overwhelming benefit is that this is a product where you can use your rental income, your monthly rental income, directly deposited into the loan itself, in which 100% of that goes to principal to reduce your balance. Therefore, it reduces your daily and monthly and annual interest expense. So you grow greater positive cash flow in your rental property just by using it. So think about that. So for property owners, real estate investors that own multiple properties and rental properties, there's really only 2 ways you can increase your cash flow. One way is to continue to refinance, but you've got to rely on interest rates for that to lower your monthly payment, and nobody controls that. The most obvious way and routine way is to increase rents. And that's not always easy to do or a smart idea either. You might have a very loyal, very consistent and great renter you don't want to scare away. So sometimes that's not an option. So how do you grow your cash flow in rental properties? Use the all-in-one loan, because it does that for you automatically, because it's going to reduce your monthly payments just by using it.
So smart and so practical to be able to let that money go to work for you for the 8 or 9 days that you're going to float that money in, and then you can just pull it right back out with no fee or no cost, and it's totally on your own volition. And we're starting to see that.
You're essentially converting your cash deposits into home equity, which remain available 24/7 over the 30-year term of the all-in-one loan. So it not only reduces the monthly expense of the mortgage itself and accelerates pay down, but it also creates this maneuverability that you just do not get with a traditional loan, as you know, right? You cannot use equity dollars without refinancing or getting a second lien on the property. This is all bundled into one, which is why we call it the all-in-one, to help accelerate all of that, the reduction of the balance and reduce interest costs, but still keeping your money liquid for use.
It's totally a smarter way to borrow. Dave, and we use this product for all loan sizes. During the pandemic, at the height of it, where jumbo loans were very difficult to obtain, we found that all-in-one was a great alternative to the jumbo product. Tell us just a brief bit about the limits that we can loan on, and maybe your thoughts on using it as an alternative to a jumbo product.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great loan for that alternative. In fact, I think it's the traditional jumbo loans are an alternative to the all-in-one if you can't qualify, right? Right. I think this is the best choice for people. I really do. The people that can qualify and manage their money well, I really do believe that this is a better loan. Period. But to answer your question, the good news is that there's no geographic limitations with the all-in-one. This is a proprietary product that we pioneered back in 2005. It's what you might call a balance sheet or portfolio program. It's not sold off to the traditional loan aggregators in the industry. So we don't have to follow their set of guidelines. It's our set of guidelines mutually agreed upon with our business partners that are banks. And so what we've created is a loan program that's available in every state. and there's no geographic limitations or restrictions on loan size. We lend up to $2 million. Imagine getting $2 million. Imagine buying a home or refinancing your current mortgage into this, all the way up to $2 million. It's a 30-year draw line of credit that's recomputing interest nightly based on your balance that you control through your cash flow behavior, because it functions as a checking account, your normal traditional checking account. So no geographic limitations. We also make exceptions. We've made exceptions as high as about 2.5, 2.6 million, for good candidates, lower loan to values. It really fits. It fits in nicely the void that has opened up, it seems, and not truly. I mean, Chet, you can attest to this. I don't think that the jumbo market or the jumbo side of our industry has really truly recovered fully from the financial crisis of 2008. We're still talking about it, right? We started to see that recover last year, up to last year, over the last several years, but COVID hit. And a lot of that jumbo or non-QM, programs went away temporarily. I'm sure they'll begin to come back, and they are. But again, those limitations exist with traditional financing, jumbo or not. And this one has none.
Well, if you have the equity and you have a good credit score, there's no reason that we shouldn't look at this program, especially if you have good cash flow and live beneath your means. This is a perfect opportunity for many people. And we're really just scratching the surface, of the tip of the iceberg on who knows about it and who can use it. And one of the things that's kind of caught on is with financial planners and investment advisors, Dave. Why is this product becoming so recommended to these guys? And how can we create better referral partners by bringing them into this equation?
Yeah, great questions. I'll answer the second one first. Okay. The biggest benefit to any fiduciary, any investment advisor, financial advisor, holistic planner to pay attention to partner with us on this loan, it really comes down to the fact that statistically, I'll just use statistics for a moment. Statistically, about 2/3 of the nation's homeowners owe a mortgage. And if you add those people up, me included and you included, it's about 58 million of us who owe a mortgage. Okay. And our collective debt, just principal outstanding alone, is estimated to be over $11 trillion now, $11 trillion in just mortgage principal outstanding. You add on top of that the interest that comes with it. And you're probably close to $19 trillion in mortgage debt that is owed or outstanding by U.S. homeowners. And now when you take a little bit deeper dive and you analyze the types of products that are being utilized to manage that debt and pay it down, you'll quickly realize that most of those products are amortized mortgages, right? They're loans that have a payment plan, a payment schedule in which most of the interest that's due of the total interest is paid for upfront in the early years. In fact, most of those loans will charge and consume about 50% of the interest cost in the first 10 years alone, right? And this is the reason why most of us, or most people with traditional mortgages, don't make very much progress, right? It's not a fast process to pay down a loan. It's a very slow process. Right. And because it's a slow process and your balance is kept higher for longer, it ends up costing people unnecessary amounts of interest cost. So, back to the financial advisor, the holistic planner. If I just described a client of yours, right? Then that individual, their greatest resource in life is their income dollars, and those income dollars are being consumed in large part by mortgage interest, by the cost of the mortgage that they owe. They may have a low rate and a low payment, but they're still paying high amounts of interest. So for any fiduciary or any client or borrower that is using the advice of a fiduciary and relies on one, this is a phenomenal tool to consider to minimize the amount of expense that comes with a mortgage. Because if you simply minimize how much your mortgage costs you over the term of the loan, then guess what? You're left with more of your own income dollars, aren't you? You haven't spent as much as you used to. What could you do with those dollars? Not to mention, Chet, what could you do after you pay off your mortgage? Because I think, and you can attest to this too, right? I mean, how many borrowers do you talk to? Let me ask you a question. How many borrowers do you talk to, Chet, that actually make home payoff or mortgage payoff a goal? I would assume very few because they probably don't think that's very tangible or achievable.
It's
Would you agree?
Not very. I agree, and it takes about 19 years on a 30-year mortgage to even start really paying principal down.
Yeah, that's true.
19 years. So most
That's
of us
true.
don't even consider it a tangible thing.
So when you begin to consider, and you have a tool that's designed to do that, and maybe you've paid off your home in 8 years, right? You're mortgage free in 8 years or 9 years or 10 years or 11 years. Right. What could you do with the money that you were sacrificing to pay for that mortgage? Now that those dollars are now free, what could you do with those dollars? How far could they go for you if you, with working with a sound financial advisor who's got your interest in their, as their interest, and they begin to apply those dollars to help you grow wealth? I mean, you can accelerate mortgage payoff and wealth building all in one, all through this loan program. Yeah. So, that's, and of all the debts we spend our money on, Chet, a lot of people don't realize this. I think we know it's a truism. We know that the mortgage is the largest statistically of all the debts we spend money on. It represents about 45% of all the debts we spend money on each month. 45%. So, if you could cut that in half, then you're just simply left with more of your own money to do bigger and better things with, like grow your investment allocation, grow your security, your insurance, securing all the wealth and all the insurance you need. And protecting your family and your family's future.
That's a great description, Dave. So if you're listening or watching this and you want to pair us up, if you want me to have a discussion with your financial planner, we'd be glad to, because we want to be advisory to them and you. And I think the all-in-one can allow someone to make their investment portfolio totally and completely different. And like you say, create wealth, put money aside for college rather than paying that 19 years of interest on a mortgage, for example, or retirement. So beautiful answers, Dave. You always are right on the spot with this. Guys, we enjoy having Dave on. And if you want to learn more about the all-in-one program, just reach out to me. I'm Chet Mann with CMG Financial, Team Chet Mortgage. And we've had the pleasure of having Dave Hurst with us, our VP of the all-in-one finance program. If you want to borrow smarter, if you want to pay principal before interest, pay that loan off in decades earlier than your traditional mortgage, you need to give me a call on my team. We're ready. We're standing by, and we'll come back to you again. And if Dave will grace us once more, or two or three more times, we'll continue these series as we go. But for now, thank you for being here. Thank you, Dave. We're glad to have you as always. Can't wait to see you in person again one day soon when we get back to our normal world. But Chet Mann at Team Chet Mortgage, CMG Financial. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, Chet.